Harry, and this is Jeff. We're here at the Peter Mott House in Longside, New Jersey. Peter Mott was special because he was an African-American abolitionist. He was also a conductor on the Underground Railroad.
Yes, in the 1840s, he built this house behind us, this farmhouse. It was an African-American community. It is now called Lawnside, but it was called Snow Hill, and it had another name that was very appropriate. What was that, Harry?
New Haven.
No, not New Haven, but you're so close. Very appropriate name, Free Haven, because formerly enslaved people came from the South, and they came to this little town in the first half of the 1800s, the 19th century, and he was an important man in this town, Peter Mott. He not only was a conductor on the Underground Railroad and helped people in his house here that were going towards freedom, but he also was the superintendent of the Sunday school. He helped found a church in town, what is now Mount Pisgah Church, a very important person. And this is one of the African-American communities, the small African-American communities made up of people who were free and sometimes formerly enslaved. They founded these towns, and this is one of them. And this is an actual piece of Underground Railroad history that survives. That house is an original house. It is his house.
Hi, we're here at another stop on the Underground Railroad. This is Coleman Town Meeting House.
Yes, and Coleman Town Meeting House was in a very early African-American community in what is now Mount Laurel Township in Burlington County. And it was originally an African Methodist Episcopal Church, AME Church, and it was a site that gave refuge to formerly enslaved people who came up from the South looking for freedom on the Underground Railroad. This was replaced after the Civil War by Jacob's Chapel, which is right near us over there, and it became a school, a totally African-American school for many years. This is a very historic building, and it was across the street, and they moved it over here next to Jacob's Chapel to be part of the complex. There is a cemetery behind us that has some of the Still family buried there, and Dr. James Still, and we're going to go over there now and take a look at his grave. Now we're by Dr. James Still's grave, and the entire Still family had a lot to do with the Underground Railroad. Now James is famous for being the Black Doctor of the Pines, and he had a brother that wrote a book called Underground Railroad, and his brother was very important in the Underground Railroad movement. And what was his name?
William Still.
William Still, the author of the book Underground Railroad. Now we're in Medford Township at the site of the house of Dr. James Still, and also the still existing office building for his medical practice. Now, he was an herbalist and a person who was self-taught as a physician, but would go into the pines, in which he was actually born in the Pine Barrens, and he would find plants that were rare that had special medicinal qualities, and use them to help his patients and cure his patients. Harry, this looks a bit like it's been recently painted.
Yeah, in fact, this building is being restored to be a museum.
Oh, well, that's so very nice. Yeah, I see they have some work to do on the porch there.
Yeah.
Our missing porch. Yes, well, it's very nice that they are saving this building. The whole family was very illustrious, with James' brother writing the book called The Underground Railroad, and having worked on the Underground Railroad. In fact, one of the people that his brother William found was his own brother, Peter, and Peter's buried in Burlington, and we had just seen the doctor's grave, so it's very nice that they're restoring the still legacy here.